Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Dion. This is the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy, just because I am sometimes, not intentionally, but sometimes, yeah. The troll because I'm a cute ass troll. A troll because there's no such thing. And it's me making fun of the beauty community, flawless faces, everything's perfect, cover everything up. As much as I love playing in face paint, for me it's just enhancing my features. Just even out a little bit and then do what I do. So right now, well, we start with chapstick first of all because sister's lips be dry. So if you appreciate that concept, go ahead and subscribe. There's nothing wrong with playing in makeup. Change your features, I'm not about that. Enhancing features, yes, and it's just fun. So, well, for me. So what's on my face? The Hydro Grip Milk, the Milk Hydro Grip Face Primer, Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation, and this is 4 in 2, which is Spiced Sand. I set my face with the Lancome Long Time No Shine Translucent Setting Powder. This is not the container it comes in, but I like that container. Before I did all of that, I am so sorry. I used the NARS Concealer, Medium Deep 1.5. I can't pronounce it. I'll have it down below. Like on the inner corner and outer corners of my eyes, and then I put the NARS Medium Deep 2 Caramel like right here. And then the brush I used for foundation, I just patted that through, and this is also the same brush I used for my setting powder, and I'm not sure how I'm liking that so far. Did my brows with Fenty Brow MVP in soft black as usual. So I don't have anything else on my face because I wanted to show you something and to do a demo. For once I have something new, like that's new. This was exclusive online from Sephora. It retails for $59 and I thought I'll just wait until it goes on sale, well, for the Sephora Rouge sale. And then I'm like, I want another blush. My only blush that I have is the e.l.f. Putty Blush in Bali, like true story, because I tend to just, if I like a color, that's the only color that I use, and so the other ones I got rid of. But I remember liking, this is the packaging, and this is the back. This is the packaging of the product, so it actually does match the box. And on the back, it doesn't have a picture. I'm so awkward. But it does have the names, and this is good for 18 months after you open it, and it is called, I am so rude for not saying that in the first place, High Profile Cheek Palette. So that's what it is called, and it is textured, so this is really nice. I remember back in the day liking NARS blushes. I used to love their Laguna bronzer. I used to love their eyeshadow duos, and then somewhere along the line I just stopped, and I do have reasons, but that'll just make this video too long. So, I just opened it. It does have a covering, a plastic sleeve here, so I'm just going to leave that over the mirror. And this is what it looks like. And so for me, when I look at blush palettes, which I haven't purchased a blush palette in a very long time, because when I look at it, I think, am I going to use every shade that's in this palette? Because if something was too light, which I'm not saying this is, but if there was a shade that didn't show up on me, I would put it on and then put something else on top of it and then deepen it with something else. And I would do that just to say I used the colors. And I'm like, that is such a waste. And so that's when I started buying just individual blushes and or not keeping blushes that don't suit me, which is why I only have the one e.l.f. Putty blush right now. But looking at this online, I'm like, I think I can use all of these colors. I do believe this one appears a highlight, and I don't highlight because for me it just accentuates texture that I didn't know or don't know I have up here. But I'm also learning that you can use a highlight shade to transform other colors. And I learned that from watching a Scott Barnes blush palette video where all of his shades, he has I think 6 shades of blushes and then 2 transformer shades that you can put on top to transform the other colors. And I thought, you know what, maybe I can do that with this. The reason, I'm on a tangent, I'm sorry. The reason I didn't get the Scott Barnes blush palette was because one of the ingredients is tin oxide. I have an allergic reaction to some metals. I have an allergic reaction to nickel, which is again one of the reasons why I've gotten away from blush palettes, and also why I like the putty blush because I can use all of this product. Anytime I hit pan, sorry for that noise, anytime I hit pan on a pressed powder product, whether it's in the middle or on the edges of the pan, my skin breaks out because of the metal. And so yeah, so I didn't get his blush palette because one of the ingredients is actually tin oxide, and I have a reaction to oxides. And so I said I'll just stick with this one, and I'm glad that I have it. And so I'm going to do a demo today of these colors so you will see what they look like on me, which is why I don't have on anything except translucent setting powder. Looking at my skin, you can see I do have natural color in my face already, even with the foundation evening me out, and also with the setting powder, which washes me out, which is why I look a little ghastly right now. But hopefully we're going to fix that with this palette, so we're going to see what it does. But as I was saying, you can see I do have a natural contour, which I believe most people do, but you can see, you know, my contour here. You can see a little shadow under here, and the same on this side. And under here a little bit, and a little shadowing up here in my temples. And so I do have, you know, coloring in my face. It may even look like I have on a little bit of blush, but I don't. And so these are my blush and powder brushes. And so I'm wondering, I'm excited, and I'm wondering, like, what do I start with? I think looking at the palette, do I want to say what the shades are? But they're upside down. So I don't really know. Okay, I think they're upside down. If so, I don't know. So holding it this way, it says Nude Revue, Hit It Off, Spin Off, Showdown, High Demand, Just Lust It. That's reading it in order the way it is, because when you hold it this way, that's how it is. And so I'm always confused, like, okay, what is it really called? But that makes sense to me. So if you're looking at it and you're like, oh, what's this shade? You flip it this way, that's the top shade. When you flip it, so that's Nude Revue. So, but looking at it, it looks like this one is deeper. And so I'm going to use that. I'm nervous. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to take a fluffy brush, well, a large brush, and we're going to go into this shade and see if I can use this as a contour. And so I am rubbing it in. I don't know if because of the texture, because it is raised texture, if it's going to evenly coat the brush at first, or if I need to like break that down. But I am sweeping it across, making sure not to touch the other shades. And so we're going to do like this, and okay, maybe I need another brush. I was concerned about, I haven't even swatched this, I was concerned about if there's a layer of product I need to get off. Not saying it's hard pan, but how some products you do just need to break that initial barrier. So I'm still just sweeping it across that shadow. Oh, now I see it. Okay. I think I need a smaller brush, or just as I was saying, and I'm going to feather it in just to get past that top layer. I think I need a smaller brush, but I like the shape of this because it does the work for you. Okay, I'm going to dip the tip of the brush and feather it in, because I do think I need a smaller brush with this. But you can see the color. I'm going to switch brushes. I'm actually going to take a dense brush, and we're going to actually just swipe. Let me do it this way. So I'm actually going to just kind of swirl it in here. And I'm going dense because I want to see if I can use this as a bronzer, and this is already looking janky. Like when I go like this, it's not so bad, but when I don't, it's just like, why is this here? Oh, I got something in my eye. It's always something going on with me. We're going to take that same shade, just put that here, dipping into it again, going across our forehead, my 5 head, my rectangular face. I am liking this shade for this. as of right now. And I may look at this later and be like, oh, girl, no. It is a little red for a contour. But you know what? We're experimenting. We're just seeing what this palette looks like on my skin tone. And I'm going in again, and I'm going to sweep it. And I am really like rubbing, swirling in the shadow. And so I do think there is a layer that you need to get off. What I'm going to do on this side, I am going to take a little bit of translucent powder just to clean up under here a little bit. And this is the brush I used for the translucent powder earlier. Woo! That was way too much. And just to even it out, even though I don't need it on this side. Put that away without making too much of a mess. And that still is like right there. Well, we know that the color shows. Oh yeah, that blush sticks. All right, so we're going back with that brush we used for the blush. Yeah, this would not be a bronzer for me, but looking at it in the palette, like it looks like it may be, but it actually is pretty much true to color for me, because it is showing up reddish. And I'm not good at describing colors, but that's this one. All right, so we're going to switch. I like this side, but it's not wanting to buff out. I'm dipping in lightly. It's not wanting to feather. Okay, here we go, I think. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we're going to take, I'm going to switch brushes. This is a Fenty brush. This one was a Sephora Flawless Airbrush number 56. That was this one. Sorry, it was out of frame. This is a Fenty 195 brush, and it is a powder brush. So we're going to go into this shade right here, the one next to the one we just used. And I am dabbing it in. It does look like some is picking up. You do have to work it a little bit because of the texture, the raised texture of the shadows. Like if you just sweep straight across, like you see how it is on a brush, like it doesn't coat the brush evenly because of the texture of the shadows. The blush, as you use it. So I'm actually wiggling it in to coat the brush as evenly as possible, which is putting a lot of product on the brush. And so I'm going to tap it off. And we're going to just go here. I like this color. As you use it, it will wear down that texture and it will be easier to coat your brush. I thought something in my hair was sticking up. That's the picture back there that someone gave me that you can't see it because the lights are reflecting off of it. I like this one. All right, I'm going in again, but I'm really having to like coat the brush and like press it in and like wiggle it into the brush. Tapped off again. And there's a lot in the brush, either that or it's staining the brush. And so I'm swirling it on my face trying to see if I can get some of this out of here. And I'm going to wiggle it again straight in this time because I want to diffuse this line some. That looks nice. I like how that looks. And so we're doing the same thing again. All right, so we're going to wiggle it again because I'm not really liking how this is at the top because it's so red. But that's nothing like a different powder or a bronzing powder couldn't fix. So that's not major. This is just to experiment with this palette. We're going to switch brushes. We're going to take, this is a Sephora. You guys remember these silver handle Sephora brushes? I've probably had this, it has to be over 10 years. When I first started wearing makeup about 15, 16 years ago, I purchased a lot of these Sephora brushes because I really like them. They're really soft. This one is the number 50. They do not make these anymore. We're going to go into this orange shade. If that's orange, I'm not good with describing colors. And we're going to wiggle that in. So I am thinking you need smaller brushes because this, again, is not really seeming to pick up because of the texture of the shadow. And it's not coating evenly. So I'm kind of pushing it in to get it into the brush, and I don't want to ruin the bristles. I'm not even going to tap off. We're going to put this right here in this area. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. All right, let me skirt. I feel like I'm DJing. You know, and I should have swatched these on my hand first for you guys, because then that would have broken some of this barrier to getting in there. And I'm not tapping this one off. I like this shade too. Put some of that across my nose. I like this shade. I'm liking this palette so far. I am going to, so we've used this one, and this one. I should have did one side, just left one side bare to use this one and that one. So I'm really sorry for that. I'm going to use this shade down here in the corner. I don't do this. I'm going to take, actually, I'm going to take my e.l.f. Putty blush brush, and we're going to go into this shade here because I think this, yeah, this is picking it up really nice on this brush, and I am wiggling it to get through the texture, and we're going to place that here. And again, I don't highlight because to me it just accentuates texture, and so I don't know if you can tell that it accentuated texture, but like I can tell. So we're going to wiggle it in again. And no, I did not tap off. I like this. I don't like how it looks textured on my skin, how it accentuates the texture on my skin, but I do like this color. I like the look minus the texture part. Okay, awesome. So for giggles, just to see, because I do want to just do the other shades just for you to see what they look like on my skin tone. And so this is going to look crazy, but we're going to take this shade here, and I'm going to wipe off this e.l.f. brush because that picked up the color really nicely. So I'm wiping that off, and we're going to go into this shade here, and we're going to wiggle it in to get past the initial texture of this shadow. Oh, a chunk came out. This is a small chunk, but a chunk still the same. We are going to tap that off, and we're going to put that down here. Can you see it? I can see it. It looks darker than it was. I'm going to wipe that brush off again. So if you're my shade or lighter, these will work for you. If you're darker than me, I'm not really sure. I do think this one will look nice. I think the orangey tone blushes look nice on almost everybody. And maybe this one and this one. But if you're darker than me, I don't know. This one may be able to be used for a highlight, but these two I'm not sure if you're deeper than me. And so now we're going to go into this one here, so we can say we used every shade in here in this palette. And I'm wiggling the brush in again to get through the texture of the shadow, which is really nice though. And I'm not going to tap off. We're going to put that on this side. I like how you have a subtle and then a deeper, a subtle and then a deeper. And even though the undertones are different, I like that you do have those options, and that if you do want to layer, then you can, but you don't necessarily have to, which, as I was saying earlier, for me, like, I always layered because some shades just did not show up on my skin tone. So my first impressions of this palette, I do like it. I like that all of the shades are showing up. I even like the highlight shade. I just don't like how it's accentuating my texture. For $59, it is NARS, so that's in line with their pricing. I would still wait for the Rouge sale to get it 20% off. But I do like this, and I can see me using this until I hit any parts of the pan, because then I won't be able to use that particular blush anymore because it'll make my face break out, which is such a waste, I feel like, especially when you're spending this kind of money. So this is this palette. I want to do something. I'm looking ghastly down here, so I want to do something with that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna put this shade along my jawline, and I'm sweeping the brush. Even though this is not a contour or a bronzer shade, we're going to use it as such, just to give my face some more color, because I'm looking ghastly. Me with no tan. And also that setting powder does wash me out, even though it's translucent. And so, not adding anything else, I'm just going to go over my entire face just to blend everything in and together. I really like this brush, and I haven't used it in a while. So this is what we have. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think you're going to pick this up? And I will do swatches right now. So this shade, I do have a cloth here. This one next to it. This one in the corner. I should have did this first, right? This shade up here. And they do feel, I want to say dry, but I think that's just the texture. That embossment that's on there, that's what it's called. And so this middle shade, if I'd have did this first, I think it would have helped me to get into the shadows. That's surprising, because this looks pink on my hand, but that's this shade. In the pan it looks orange to me. And then this is the last shade. Awesome swatches, I know. So these are the colors, and as you can see, they do show up on my skin tone, even though my hand is a different color than my face. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts. If I want to go subtle, I can do that. If I want to go deeper, use these two over here. Use this as a highlight or as a topper. You know, let's do that really quick just to make the video longer than it needs to be. I'm going to take this powder brush and just see if that will intensify anything. I think it did. Wow, that's nice. Thank you, Scott, for that tip, because I wouldn't have really thought to do that. I like that. I really do. All right, so this is really it for this video, guys. Thank you for being here to help me experiment with this. Again, these are the awesome sucky swatches of this palette. Let me know what you think. Do you think you'll pick it up? Why or why not? You'll see me next video. Thanks.